4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everyone? It's Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. This is our live DFS show for the Charles Schwab Challenge. Craig, I think when you're counting down, I don't know if you're actually doing a second increments. You're just doing like your own made up like
I just do my
measured
own made up
unit
thing.
of time. What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining us. Thanks for joining us live. This is our live show for the Charles Schwab Challenge, as we
And
said.
if people keep asking me why we do that, it's just because I don't want to do like a stupid
Yeah.
live waiting screen. So I just figure it's more fun to just have us before we start talking.
Our mess ups are part of our thing. Like that's just who we are. What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining us in the chat. If it's your first time, please hit subscribe to our channel. Do that right now. Drag your mouse over or your finger if you're on your phone. Hit subscribe. Thumbs up for us. We're going to go through the DraftKings order here in DraftKings pricing. So if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. But we have a new feature. We have super chat. So if you want to get our attention, throw a chat out there, throw a question, jump the line, do that. Use the super chat. It'll get our attention, that's for sure. Other things. It's Craig's birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Craig.
I'm at the point where you don't really talk about what year it is anymore, and so on and so forth. But yeah, no, thanks. I appreciate it. I feel older and wiser.
Do you feel wiser for this particular tournament, or do you feel lost in the clouds?
Yeah, let me tell you about my 80% Jordan Spieth fit. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, yeah, it is a bit of a tough one. I find I do like a lot of the above 10K and 9K range, but then it's tough building out the lineup. I think it's a little bit tough. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Geminis, we like to have two sides to the personality.
Yeah, just missed out on the Taurus.
Adam said Taurus. I'd be 50th. Closer than I would like to be.
A 24th and a 50th. I feel like we're zeroing in on there a little bit.
Yeah, we're close. I don't actually have any rye, unfortunately. Oh no, I don't even know if I have any liquor in the house. Just wine.
What would be your drink of choice?
Oh, I'd make a rusty nail.
Yeah, Scotch and Drambuie.
Yeah,
Two-thirds,
and we would have. I think I have. I don't know what I have. Anyways, regardless, we've got too much wine, and so that is the thing that needs to get drank.
That's a hard problem to have.
When you live in wine country and people keep coming here to do wine tours, wine tastings, and then you have friends come into town, so then you go with them to do the wine tastings, and then you have to buy the bottle of wine because then the tasting's free, you end up with like an absurd amount of wine.
Yeah.
It is a tough problem to have. Anyways.
Whoa. Reagan,
thanks,
you
Craig.
So much
you're our number one subscriber so far.
First ever. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us week in, week out, day in, day out. It's a lot of fun. So
yeah, I do like the PY's choice there too. Should we jump into it here?
Yeah, a couple things. So I was just looking at Windfinder, looking at the weather here see if there's any AM PM type splits. It all looks flat on Thursday. Ooh, pardon me. And then Friday, you guys can go send this, or I'll put it up in our Discord. It looks pretty good. And then there's this 1 hour at 3 p.m. on Friday where it gusts up to 47 miles per hour. And then it's back down to 17 the next hour. So I don't know what's going on there. If there's like a tornado warning, or
I don't know what's going on there either.
If someone's in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, maybe let us know. But that looks a little extreme.
Craig, just to thank you for the info and entertainment. That was both informative and entertaining, I would say, Adam. So yeah.
There you go. What else before we jump into it? I think that's it.
How many guys in your pool?
30 guys in the pool. Tournament previews out where we talk about the course. It's pretty straightforward for me this week. I'm going with guys' accuracy. I'm going with guys with approach. I went a little bit heavy, long-term putters. Also guys that are putting well recently in certain lineups, kind of making those narrative type lineups. But yeah, it seemed like a pretty easy build this week, which usually turns out well for me. But I don't know. It's golf. It's completely random.
Yeah. I've got 27, and I actually haven't built I don't have percentages yet because I've only built a few. I haven't built all my lineups yet. But I'm struggling. I have more guys than I would like in the low 7Ks right now, so I might still trim a little bit from there.
Yeah, I have a ton there. I definitely got some ownership bubbles where like high sevens. I couldn't get away from a couple guys, and it's kind of balloon there. But yeah, let's talk through it a little bit. Let's.
Yeah, so 10K range. You want to start
Yeah.
there? Seems like a logical place to start.
So we got. I mean, going down. Spieth, JT, Morikawa, Reed, Berger, Zal. Oh, nope. Zalatoris is 9-9. Never mind. Cut him out. Anybody that's not in your pool there, Craig?
Yeah, I only have 2 plays.
Oh,
So
that seems aggressive.
I've gone with just Spieth and Colin Morikawa. JT, I don't mind the JT play. So essentially, to me, kind of Spieth and JT are for all intents and purposes the same price. And I like Spieth. I mean, they both have. Spieth has better form, I would say, but then he also just
Yeah.
plays really, really well at this course. So
I mean, even when he was playing poorly, he
even
was
when
playing well here.
exactly, so even when he was playing poorly, he played well here. So I just like him. And then JT, like I don't think these results are a little bit worse, obviously, than his play is because we know, he was playing awesome tee to green, and the putter
Yeah.
just really
Yeah.
let him down there, at the Valspar especially. But that's kind of the weakness with JT right now. JT's probably the guy that there's one guy in the 9Ks that I might FOMO on, but JT would be the other one. And
Yeah.
then Morikawa, I just think if he shows up with a putter, he could win this thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, guys 10K, you don't really want to have question marks and feel like they need to have a good week to do well here. And that's a little bit like JT now. We were kind of talking about it in our Discord. If you want to join our Discord, the link is below. Basically, I was saying if he finds fairways and he has an average putting week, like, yeah, he may well win this, but you have to ask things of your 11K person. And I don't really want to ask that. I feel like Spieth's floor is a little bit safer right now. So I cut JT. He's my only cut in this range. Pretty heavy Spieth Morikawa, 30% each. Reed and I love Morikawa. I think I love Spieth
His
too.
form right now, like essentially he's gaining a stroke off the tee and 2 strokes on approach.
It's absurd, yeah.
It's crazy right now. And
And
really,
and
he does have the putter problems, but even with bad putting, he's been top 10ing. So
yeah. And then Reed Berger scares me. He's not putting it together for entire tournaments. I got 10%. Reed I got 20%, but I can't get. I'm always wrong on Reed, so I don't know.
yeah, essentially, I just tried to be a little bit. I like the 9K range a lot, so I decided to. I was actually thinking about just skipping this and like going heavy in the 9K range, but I just like Spieth and Morikawa. I think there's too much win equity with those two guys. But Reed, I mean, Reed signs point kind of to him being a good play this week. So I do get that one. And then Berger's just disappointed me so much in the last few weeks, or I mean, maybe not so much at the Byron Nelson, but that was a really, we're always talking about the back door. Sometimes the back door isn't. There's variations of the back door. Like sometimes it's really like they were never in contention, and it's a backdoor top 8. He was never in contention there, but that one definitely still did well for you, getting all the way up to third.
Yeah. There is chat here about Vince Whaley. We'll get there in a bit, but I always say beware the chalky 6K. That's what I would say.
He's in the pool, 62.
Didn't make it for me. Ownership too high.
I won't have more than 10% on him.
Couple lineups, yeah.
Yeah. Unless you do pretty fun things. I also, I've got another guy down that low. There's a few guys that I think are decent value down in the, lower 6s.
Yeah. 9Ks?
Sorry, and so Berger, you are on.
Yeah, I got 10%. A couple lineups. I mean, he won here last year. He's just a really frustrating guy. Like I don't want to put a lot of ownership on him, but his stats have been great for a year since he won here.
It's a good fit.
So it's a good fit. Yeah, it's just I don't feel good doing it, and I don't really want to put him in like my big GPPs. So
I think the biggest problem I've had with Berger is that, the last few times I've rostered him, like on the first day, he's gone in the wrong direction. And then both times he's managed to make the cut. And then at the Byron Nelson, he managed to work his way up to a decent finish. But like, it's just so disheartening when on the first day, they just like, you're like, oh man, like the highest paid guy in my lineup here has gone in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, 9K
so
range. I think the 9K, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's so hard not to overanalyze every Thursday in defense because you get so excited Monday to
Mm.
Wednesday about building these pools, building these lineups, and the guy goes 3 over, and you're like, what? Like, how could they do that? That's
And then like where you are ranked on Thursday,
oh, it's
Friday is so skewed from the finishing positions because it
yeah,
takes proportionally so much of their scoring up. But yeah,
yeah.
don't
Nine
don't
Ks. I'll
don't let that affect you like it's affecting my Daniel Berger play this week.
get 95 and up. Is that what we're doing here? Zalatoris, answer Finau, Scheffler.
Yes. So I tried to cut Zalatoris, I couldn't do it. And then I did. So probably my biggest FOMO. This is my one where I say it's potentially bigger than JT. Is Scotty Scheffler. I took Scheffler out. There's too many good plays here. So I've gone Zalatoris, Answer, and Finau are in the pool.
Zalatoris, answer Finau. Same as me. Answer does look like he will be the highest owned. A little bit concerned about that. I got him in
See,
only
I
fifteen
have heard that as well, but I feel like Zalatoris. Sorry, you said Answer is going to be the highest owned,
answer.
but I feel like Zalatoris is attracting tons of ownership week in week out. So I don't know how much those models are projecting to Zalatoris because
It is
it's
funny though. Golf Digest does like their fantasy expert sheet every
mhm.
Wednesday, and I clicked on it today, and you got Pat Mayos, you got Rick Rungoods, you get other guys in there from other sites, and like 3 of them had Abe Answer as a fade, and I assume they mean DFS fade, but everything lines up for him to have a good week.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you also just kind of have to take stances on guys like that who,
Totally.
when does the fall off come?
Yeah.
I definitely like the 3 straight top tens, but I think that's why. I mean, if it's not an ownership fade, then I don't know what it is.
Totally. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. When he's not top 10, he's top 25, and so
Yeah.
that's pretty good. Yeah, I got Zalatoris. I like Zalatoris. Put him in with Morikawa. Can throw darts here. And the other thing too, like with these, I don't want to with these decade guys. I feel like they're maybe have a better understanding of limiting the big number. Um, so if this is a harder scoring course, then that might help them with the
Yeah.
Sinks,
Yeah.
with the Zalatoris, with kind of those guys that have been using that system.
Yeah. Um, yeah. No, I mean Zalatoris is just so solid with his ball striking.
Yeah.
The putter is the real question mark. I mean, I just want to see Zalatoris get that win so that he can be a part of that freaking PGA, not a special temporary membership. But
Did you see Homa's tweet
yeah, I
on
did
like
like
Sunday?
that.
The Rudy thing.
Yeah, yeah. I forget what they say too. Like Rudy he can have my spot.
You can have my spot.
Yeah.
So basically, what Max Homa said, he's like, if Zalatoris doesn't get a spot into the FedEx Cup final, like all the golfers that do should like lay down their jerseys or like the putter or whatever, and be like, Zalatoris can have my spot.
Yeah.
I love it. It's such
For,
like
it's for Rudy, coach.
it's for Willie.
Such a great movie. I remember showing my wife that one. She got it by the end. Why it was such a great movie.
I watched that for the first time during the pandemic.
No, we saw that as kids.
Yeah, but like, okay, if you count 1992, I don't have memory
No,
of
we
that.
will. Yeah, okay. I guess I sometimes forget how young you are, but no, man, we've seen that movie like 10 times on TV. You for
I
sure.
know. I remember the radio thing like at the start when he's doing the call, but I don't remember the whole thing. I don't have an attendance span back then.
Yeah, okay, I guess. Maybe me and Kev were watching it and you weren't.
Yeah.
Okay, rest of the 9Ks. Connors, Neiman, Woodland, Sungjae, Kokrak.
Yeah, so I got a few guys here. I got Connors. Obviously, he was in our pick show. I'm wearing the Canada hat. I love Connors this week. I feel like this might be a good spot for him to get a win. Seems like a good match. He was really good here when he wasn't really good as a golfer in terms of official or golf ranking. We talked about on our pick show. I got some Neiman, and I went back to Sungjae. Feels like a little bit too low of a price for Sungjae. I went to Sungjae.
You always find a way to get to
I
Sungjae.
find a way to get Sungjae.
He was one of my last cut in this range. I have got Connors, Neiman. Tim D. He's saying Answer is my favorite play. I I don't like him, but you can't ignore everything is amazing for him this course. So that would be the other thing, aside from the form with answers. I like the course fit, which 100%. Would be my hesitancy to fade him. But Connors, the big problem I have with Connors right now, I did play him, but the putting and the around the green have been losing for 3 weeks in a row, which I don't love. I considered actually fading Connors, but ultimately his, conversely, his ball striking, both approach and off the tee, has been so good for so long that I just couldn't get there. Because then if he does have that good putting week, it's like we're talking a win or a top 3 essentially.
Yeah, and I think the accuracy, I think he's like a top 20 guy in driving accuracy. The other thing too is what I've heard, like it's got a ton of rain, this area or the course recently. It could be preferred lies, like lift clean place. It could also mean in the rough that it's like thicker and like harder to get
rough,
out. So so fairway and accuracy, I kind of leaned on it a little bit more. Even like I was going to anyways, but there's a little bit more.
Yeah. Question, is Niemann a good pivot from answer?
You're leaving about $500-ish, $400 on the table.
I mean, but in terms of building, like I would say,
yes,
all of these guys right below answer are good pivot. I like everyone in this range, really.
The question I always ask myself at the end of the day, would I be surprised if Niemann has a higher finish than answer? Like, not at all.
Yeah, but like essentially Zalatoris through Niemann, I like all of those guys' plays. I didn't make the Scotty Scheffler play, but that's just because I had to try to cut guys in this range.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's where it's this range. It's Zalatoris through Niemann that made me actually contemplate just totally skipping the 10Ks and hammering, trying to get like say 3 guys in that range and then going low. But yeah, I'll do that with some lineups.
It also does seem like M in this area does have a little bit more win equity, I would say.
Then you possibly love to overrate Sungjae, I feel like. I'm starting to see that. What, win equity based on his top 8 in his last year of starts?
He has one.
Kate, you're back.
Hey, Craig.
Sorry, chat. We're getting things set back up here. You good, Adam?
Yep. I don't know. Was that what happened there? Is that my bad?
I don't know. You just dropped. Might have been on my end. Might have been on your end.
All right, we're back. Power through it.
I'm assuming. Let me know in the chat if you guys are having any problems getting us.
Exact same thing I saw. Looks like it's all good to go. Good to go here now.
So the long story short is Sungjae Im has not won in a while.
But he's okay. You got a screen popping up there on the...
Yeah, I know. Kevin's trying to FaceTime me. The problem with having a Mac is that everything's integrated together, so that if I get if a FaceTime comes to my phone, it pops up on my screen, and I
tell him if he wants to talk to you on your birthday, join the chat.
leave a super message or whatever it is.
Yeah, leave a super chat, and we'll talk to him there.
Yeah. Okay. So last one's here. Woodland. You didn't get there either.
No, I didn't get there. But his form is nice to see that he's turning a corner. But
yeah, for sure.
Just
from a guy I would like to see a informed Gary Woodland come U.S. Open time.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Jason Kokrak was one of the hardest ones for me to leave out, to be honest.
Craig and saying Kevin Hakes the pick confirmed. He didn't want to hear us talk about him. You better
be shutting these guys off right now.
He's calling me to make sure I slag on Sungjae. Kokrak, yeah, I mean, I just didn't see the upside. I feel like Kokrak I think of more as a driver and a putter, which this course I feel like is not necessarily going to reward that as much as like the Arnold Palmer Invitational would. But
he was just one of like 5 guys, you're like, last kind of cuts. He was one of those guys for me, that kind of handful of guys.
Yeah. Kevin is probably FaceTiming me with his children, so that's why he's not in the chat, is because he was
Oh yeah, I guess it's earlier there.
It would be right before their bedtime. So that's why he would not be joining the chat to just talk about golf. He's just calling probably with his kids to say happy birthday. Okay, 8K range.
AK range. So if we want to do the whole thing and just talk about guys we want to talk
I
about,
only
I
got
only have
3
four
plays.
picks. Yeah, let's go. You go first.
Okay, so I've got Hoffman, 87,
Like it.
Matt Wallace at 82, and Brian Harmon at 8,000.
Yeah, Harmon's gonna be chalky, but I went there. I went Hoffman
Well,
as
he's my one
well.
and done pick, so
That's true. That is true. I went Hoffman as well. I went Ryan Palmer. I went Kevin Na and Brian Harmon, but Palmer and Na are both in two lineups each, so just 10% there.
yeah, Nas essentially I think is a course history. I mean, he has sort of up and down recent form.
Yeah.
Top 12 Masters, I guess, would be the best of it, but his course history is really good. And Palmer, yeah, I got away from Palmer. Essentially, I was Hoffman and Palmer. I felt like I was going to play one of them.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Actually, Billy Horschel is one of those guys where I'm like, this could be a Billy Horschel week, and I'll just lose everything, and it is what it is. But I just didn't want to add him to my pool, really.
Yeah. So sorry, and Matt Wallace.
No, Matt Wallace. I think it's fine play.
To
Yeah,
me, it's a form. It's a form and momentum play.
yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Obviously, the PGA Championship wasn't as good, but he's just got really good form on the year. Aside from
but
that,
that is like the complete opposite course
yeah,
like
yeah.
this, as I would think. Tringali, I didn't get there, but
So he was one of my later cuts. I had Tringale in there for a while, and then took him out. But I don't think it's
I
a bad play essentially. And I think, I mean, if Harmon is as chalky as you say, you might be better off pivoting to Tringali. But I mean, to me, this PGA Championship miscut from Harmon, I don't care about that at all.
no,
I didn't like him going in terms of what that course wants from you.
and
I
he
think
missed on
it's
the
a,
number too.
yeah, and it's a good. He's got good momentum and he has good course history. So I do see why Harmon would be a popular play this week.
Yeah, and to be perfectly honest, this is kind of one of those areas where there wasn't a lot of guys I liked. So him, and if we dip right below him, Snedeker and Griot kind of got like this kind of bubble of ownership because there wasn't many guys else I liked or I wanted to put elsewhere. I guess in retrospect, I could have added Wallace, but I felt like I was like last guy in. It was like 8,100 and below. I was just kind of stuck. I was handcuffed there a little bit.
Yeah, so jumping right into that next range. Let us know if there's anyone else in the 8K you want us to chat about. But jumping into that next range, I have Snedeker, Griot, and then Matt Jones, which sort of lump right in there with the Harmon play.
You have, sorry, Snedeker, Griot, Matt Jones.
Yeah, at
I like
79s
that.
and
Yeah.
78s.
Yeah, I didn't get Matt Jones.
And then my
But
only other upper 7K is Chris Kirk at 76.
Chris Kirk, so he's my highest owned guy. He's my only one at 35%. Everything I kept looking. Like every stat I wanted to kind of add, Chris Kirk was in the top half, or I mean, like in the top 20, top 25 of guys I was looking at.
Mm-hmm.
So it seemed like I just couldn't get away from him. So, and yeah, I have 35%, and after a while I just had to stop. I had to force myself to do some Snedeker, to do some Harmon,
You
some
didn't want
other
to get up
things.
to 80%.
Yeah, I didn't want to go crazy.
Grace or Kisner? So I have Kisner in the pool. I want to say Grace is more expensive, isn't he? Yeah, so 72 is Kisner and 75 is Grace. Grace was one of my later cuts in this range though for sure. He has good form. I don't remember what his course history is off the top of my head. So when this comes up, we can look at it. Sorry, and did you
Uh,
have any other high 7 plays?
yeah, real quick. Willem Neal says no Harmon, went with Streelman. I think that's a good pivot. If that is one of your pivot areas, I think that makes sense. Streelman's obviously coming in with form. He did well to PGA, so I like that. Um, yeah, high 7K. So I had Snedeker, I have Griot. Um, then I went Kuchar and I added Siwoo Kim as well.
You love this
I
Siwoo play.
I was just leaning a little bit more away from Tringali guys that all the stats line up, but they're not going to get it done, to guys that, pop occasionally and like get some wins. And
You're gonna try to get away from the ones who make tons of sense and are not going to actually work out to the ones that make no sense and are going to work out. That's a good strategy, actually.
that's why I love Kisner this week.
Yeah, me too. So Kisner is a guy I'm on, and I think it's essentially I'm playing the talent bounce back narrative there.
it's just like his price is a little bit absurd. He's 7,200 with guys that, are have had their PGA cards for maybe 1 or 2 years. Some of them, like Kisner's a pro's pro. Like he goes to these tournaments where he knows he has a shot and elevates his game to where it is. Like he knows he will never win at Kiowa Island. He knows that, but he's going to show up and try to get a paycheck. But this one, he knows he can win and make his, tour card for the next year, or do whatever he needs to do, get those points, get those checks. Yeah, it's bad. And
Yeah, but ultimately, if it wasn't for this, you're not getting Kisner at 7,200 in this kind of field. So I think this is one of those ones where you essentially just decide if he's going to. I mean, I guess you don't know what his ownership is going to look like, but if this causes him to be 7,200 and low owned, that's when you buy the dip.
everything I've seen is less than 5%, and I'm all over that.
Couple of those, do some dollar cost averaging, really like get in there at the low price.
Yeah, one of those was on the number. One was off by one. It just, yeah, it wasn't a guy that I thought I was going to go hard on, but I got 30% Kisner.
Yeah. Now
so I got a pack of guys from 75 to 7,000.
Okay, let's get into that. So
we're going a little bit quicker today. It's Craig's birthday. Any questions you guys want to answer, just throw them in the chat. We'll talk about it. We're going to go a little bit quicker here. Talk about just kind of key guys, not everyone. Okay, Craig, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Sergio, Patton Kizzire, Russell Knox, Matthew Neesmith, Carlos Ortiz, Doug Gim, Kevin Kisner, Doc Redman, Brendan Todd.
Kisner, Redmond, Todd. Yeah, okay. I like that. I think I have most of those guys. We've got a few difference. I did not go Sergio. Kevin's one and done, right? Kevin.
He is.
Which Kevin's surprised me a bit because Kevin's not a Sergio guy, but
yeah.
But I guess he's looking for value. Yeah. So I skipped on Sergio, but I do have Kizzire, Russell Knox, Matt Neesmith, and then Gooch. Gooch, I think, is honestly going to be my highest owned guy potentially in this range. Kisner,
I didn't get there.
Kisner, Redman, Brendan Todd, Sepp Straka at 7,000, and then I also went with Adam Hadwin. I think this to me is a little bit like a Kisner play where I'm buying the bounce back. I think it's a course that fits him well. He has. The approach play has been his weakness for a while, and it's not actually hurting him that much. So if it is this course that demands good short game, good around the green play, not necessarily being a bomber, I think it's a good fit for him. So I'm not going to go heavy on Hadwin, but I do think there's potential value there.
I like that. One name I didn't hear from you, which is interesting, is Gim.
No, I was going to say that because Rob Hauser here had Gim on his 7K plays here. I feel like I like the value. It just feels a little bit like Gim is becoming a chalky play week in, week out in this range, which, sometimes I'm willing to jump on that, but I think it's a combination of that and maybe with his form, he becomes a little bit less chalky, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know how much I like me some Doug Gim, but I just didn't get there. I think it's also a little bit of one of these factors of when there's, I've got 5 guys at 73 and 72. So
yeah,
there's just, you can only have so many. And I like Kisner at 72. I like Redman at 72. I like a bunch of these guys at 73. So yeah, unfortunately,
no, that's fair.
Gim doesn't cut it this week.
Peck and William Neal. Peck said, playing CT Pan as a flyer. He's 3rd and 20th in the past 3 years. I think that's a great flyer. I mean, I think this course more so than others demands kind of a certain type of player, and that is CT Pan. Like just looking at his season here, he pops. He's got a T12 at Sanderson, T7 at Masters, T20 Genesis, T3 Honda, T18 last week at Wells Fargo, or last time out for Wells Fargo. But he has like half of those are missed cuts too.
So I was gonna say he's one of those ones that I've been super frustrated with because I have seen the upside for him, and then because his price is absurdly low sometimes too, and so I've taken the chance on him, and then it doesn't work out. But if he does have a good course history, then I do think this is potentially a good week to jump on it.
Yeah. Ray was asking about Straka. Straka's in your pool. He's not in mine. So why did he make yours, Craig?
I just like Straka as an upside play. I think he's a good ball striker. I think he has, we've got 6 straight without a missed cut. I think, to me, I kind of lump him and Neesmith into somewhat similar categories. I think they're both they're both good approach players more than they are, off the tee. And I think they both have kind of comparable upside to them. So yeah, I won't go, because I have so many plays in this range. I'm not going to be going heavy on any of these, but I do have a sprinkling of Straka at this point.
PY says Corn Ferry Tour event is 10 minutes away from you this weekend. Sky Hook DFS, I think his Twitter name is. Someone we talked about on our Discord is a good Euro, just good DFS guy all around. He put out a 500 to 1 on his Twitter account, so I'd go look at that.
Brandon Wu's playing. That's an interesting guy to keep an eye on.
I did see Brandon Wu didn't make the Actually, I don't know if he did, because I looked at his first round and it didn't look good.
Sorry, at the Corn Ferry Tour?
No, at the U.S. Open. They had a U.S. Open qualifier. Dallas? No, was it Dallas?
It was Dallas, I think.
Yeah.
Who do you know? Because there was the crazy tie, right? Do you know who got through that?
I don't. I didn't actually.
I heard, or I saw someone tweet. I was kind of not really on my computer a lot today, but I saw someone tweet that Scott Piercy went Bo Jackson with his putter over his knee.
I did see that. I think Monday Q Info tweeted that out. Yeah. Oh man. Classic. And EBR, did you see EBR's apology?
No. What did
it was maybe 50 words, and it was like, I apologize to my fans. I'm reflecting right now. It seemed very vanilla. Like it was like
very PR.
Not even. It didn't like. I don't know if it was run by anyone.
Like it was like a Dwight Schrute apology.
Yeah, it is your birthday.
No, don't you remember that one? I forget what it is. Oh, after he does the fire drill, then he comes out with like, I forget what the thing says, but I am remorseful, or I regret my actions. Yeah. Did you have to write that down, Dwight?
Did you really have to write that down? You were talking about a Simpsons reference the other day about Skinner walking through the river.
Yeah.
I forget who did it. One of the people who watched, and then put the episode link, and I loved it. I went back and watched it.
That's a classic.
I love it.
The other one who's just jumping out at me, which is back to the Corn Ferry Tour field. Svensson is a Canadian guy, and then Pendrith, obviously. And then another one I had heard, Davis Riley is in the Corn Ferry Tour field, who obviously is going to be on the PGA Tour here soon.
Yeah,
apparently he, in that US Open qualifier, he was -3 with 3 holes to play, and then like walked off the course, assuming, I don't know, someone speculated, like it just assumed he thought it wasn't good enough, but then -4 was where that huge playoff was. So I don't know if, maybe he walked off after carding, like maybe he hit his drive on the third last hole and it went in the water out of bounds or something. He's like, well, there's my chance, and just called it there.
That's wild. Nick Hardy, I think I played it in Illinois something or other event there, and same with Flavin at 500 to 1. So I'm throw a dart out there. Okay. 6Ks. Are we going to talk some 6Ks here, Craig?
Yeah, I was just still looking through that field. How many? I've got 4.
I got 2. I was just like, I got all these low 7Ks. I don't have to go down here.
Okay, what do you got?
Hoagie, my boy. Yeah, Hoagie, TCU. Horn Frog, I want to say. I don't know. LT went there.
TCU is, I want to say, the Horn Frogs. That's like the purple and black. Yeah.
Man, he had that great commercial.
Pass rusher, the Colts drafted that one year too, that went on to Buffalo and became a pretty good player. He was from TCU.
I'm guessing it's not Feeney or
not Feeney
Spin
or
Master.
Mathis. No.
Yeah. Michael Thompson is my last one. And I went pretty heavy.
Where's that?
He's 66. It's just like, I feel like Michael Thompson never gets loved because it's Michael Thompson and he's like the simulated golfer. But he makes he has like the simulated name. He's making cuts right now. He's putting well. I forget his specific stats, but I went Hoagie 30% and Michael Thompson 25%.
So I saw you teased a all Canadian lineup with Mackenzie Hughes in there, but clearly it was not one that you decided to play.
No, it was bait for Twitter and no one took the bait.
No one took the
Ah,
bait.
ah.
Okay, so I've got Hoagie. I don't have Michael Thompson, but I also went JT Poston at 69, and then
Yeah,
I have like I said, I have Vince Whaley, and then I also got Danny McCarthy at 63.
I
This
like it.
just seems like a good price. He's on a pretty good cut streak, or not cut streak, I guess, but made cut stretch.
Yeah.
Um, he's his putting's just so good that like I don't know, like look at all this green over here. Essentially, like he can lose a half stroke tee to green. He can lose a stroke tee to green and make the cut. And then if he does anything positive tee to green, then he's got a pretty good shot. So, um,
Do you think like whenever like he's just walking with his caddy, he gets a green regulation, and this caddy's like, "We're in the money,
like
baby.
yeah,
Like,
we're good.
we got this green reg." Oh yeah, like it just like looks like the hoop for like Steph Curry.
Yeah,
Like this is
yeah.
huge.
So Robert Hauser here. I also actually, so Bryce Garnett is 62 or 61 or six, somewhere in that range, because I was looking at him as well. Ultimately did not get there, but I do like the play. And then Stewart was someone else. I want to say he was 65-ish, because I remember considering that play as well, but I've lost him here now. Bryce Garnett
Heck, if
is
you're
62 and Stewart is 67. I think both of those are solid plays.
yeah, Peck, if your lineup is Colin Morikawa, Corey Connors, Charlie Hoffman, Chris Kirk, Carlos Ortiz, I like it. He said he made a lineup starting with all guys with the C's, and hey, I got all those guys. Yeah, I like that lineup.
Yeah, maybe they just have confidence this week.
Uh, uh, I didn't feel it necessary to go into the 6Ks that much. About half the field is going to make the cuts. It's a smaller field, so it's 120 top 65 and ties. Um, I just didn't really want to
Yeah,
reach.
yeah. No, I think that's fine. I also feel like it's a little bit harder sometimes when we have these courses, like what was it, Wells Fargo a few weeks back, or even Byron Nelson. You're like, yeah, like I feel like I can somewhat confidently play like a Wyndham Clark because I think they suit it. Whereas this one here, I mean, you could say the driving accuracy, the approach type ball strikers, but then it also favors short game, and so it's just tough to kind of have a type that you really want to play. Zach Johnson was someone I considered at 69. He has a good course history.
He does. He was a late cut for me. Actually, Nick Taylor, when we were in that range with Vince Whaley, Nick Taylor was a late cut for me. I just feel like it's a course that could suit him. All these short gamers, like they all have a chance here. I feel like they're gonna get up for it.
Yeah, I think actually, Peck, what you should do is go entirely with double letters like Kevin Kisner, Harry Higgs, Cam Champ. See if you can. I don't know what we have in terms of talent up at the top for that type of thing, but Abe Answer, Scotty
Abe
Scheffler, Corey
Answer, Scotty
Connors. Yeah,
Scheffler.
you could put together a good lineup this way.
That's looking like a pretty good lineup. Yeah, you're in the weeds with golf DFS. You're like, okay, I'm gonna do this for this lineup. And it's like your best lineup. You're like, okay, yeah, it's great. Let's talk about Rafa. Rafa had a good showing here
RCB,
last year. I
Rafa
actually don't know where he's.
Cabrera Bale.
Yeah,
I actually don't know where he's
I
priced
don't know
here.
where he's priced
I
either.
didn't spend a long time considering him.
Yeah, he's fine.
Um, yeah, appreciate the happy birthday, Ray. Where do we have Rafa here? We've got him 6,400. Um, I have not really considered him, but he is one of these guys that splashes and has higher finishes than it seems like he should, amidst a bunch of missed cuts. I'd say it's a risky play.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna go spend some time with the fam. Appreciate the
fam.
happy birthday wish, Ray. Appreciate all you guys watching. Give us that thumbs up if you haven't already.
Yeah, I was just letting you ride the sign out. I love it, Craig. Happy birthday to you. Good luck this week. Good luck this week to everybody. Join us in the Discord. That's where we're going to chat about the tournament, the entire tournament. It's always fun in there. And we'll have some showdown videos. We're going to pre-record them. They're not going to be live this week. It's not a major week. We're going to pre-recorded. Hopefully get them out a little bit earlier, but we'll see what our schedules.
Well, and so we were chatting earlier today. The schedule from now till the U.S. Open is awesome. Like we've got Colonial this week. We've got the Memorial. We've got I forget what they're calling it, but Congaree, essentially the tournament that's replacing the RBC Canadian Open, which is a very interesting golf course that will be seen for the first time. So it's just going to be a really good stretch here through the U.S. Open.
Really good stretch. And then, yeah, I haven't even looked past that, but it's a good month.
I don't want to look too far past it.
No, I don't either. I don't either.
Okay. Yeah. Appreciate it, guys. We'll see you next time.